It's no secret that we're basically living through a sort of golden age of paleo documentaries, with projects like Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 and Prehistoric Planet Ice Age happening this year. But they are not the only documentaries that we have to look forward to. There's one that kind of like fell under the radar for some people, that being Surviving Earth. Surviving Earth will be an 8-part documentary that we'll be releasing sometime next year. Its main focus will be on mass extinctions, with each episode kind of like detailing a different one. The company known as Loud Minds had been commissioned for this project. Loud Minds is a sister company to Impossible Pictures. Impossible Pictures are the same folks who did the original Walking with Dinosaurs, as well as like Primeval. Like they did a lot of those practical effects and things like that. And on top of that, Tim Haynes will be a creative director for this project, who is also the director for the original Walking with Dinosaurs, the Giant Claw special, and Walking with Monsters, as well as being a producer on many of those dinosaur-themed projects. So far, this already sounds like a fantastic documentary, am I right? Like, it kind of feels like a return to form for the original Walking with Dinosaurs that so many of us watched when we were younger. But along with those details, we have gotten a few teases that really make things incredibly exciting. The first being this juvenile Spinosaurus, a little baby Spinosaurus concept art that was done by Gabriel Ugueto. I'm sure that many of you recognize his work, and it's absolutely amazing right here. This little Spinosaurus just looks awesome. Gabriel gave the little fella some like small amounts of feathers that will likely be lost as the animal grows. And also the animal does have like some oral tissue. And in the bottom right corner, you can see what the fully grown Spinosaurus might look like. Now, of course, this is concept art. It's not the final product. So in the end, Spinosaurus may look a little bit different from this, but this is like a good starting point. And it's like one of the best pieces of like teases that we've gotten. Now, some of you may be wondering, if we're like looking at mass extinctions, why are we seeing Spinosaurus here? The reason for that is because we will likely be seeing the Cenomanian and Turonian boundary event, which is another mass extinction that kind of like that happened in between the Cenomanian and the Turonian. So that's likely where the focus will be on that episode, and we'll probably get a little bit more detail about it when we actually see it. We had also gotten a piece of concept art for Smilodon gracilis and Smilodon populator. Smilodon populator is the largest species of Smilodon that we know of, lived in South America, and Smilodon gracilis was a smaller species, probably one of the smallest species, that lived mostly in North America. And of course, these are done amazingly as well. They were done by the amazing Mauricio Anton. I guarantee that many of you have seen his awesome pieces of like Cenozoic artwork. That's one cool thing about this project, is that they have recruited a lot of people for this project, with over 300 scientists that worked on the series, as well as 70 creatures, with designs being commissioned by artists like, Mauricio Anton and Gabriel Ugueto. So it's a stacked piece of work that has a lot of people working on it. And again, it's just looking like it's going to be really incredible to see. And then shortly after that, we did get a little piece of a Dimetrodon. The series won't just be focusing on the points for the mass extinction. It'll be showing some creatures before, during, and after the mass extinctions, kind of like show how life was like beforehand and during, and how life kind of like moved on after those mass extinctions. Because again, the whole thing will be centered around mass extinctions, to kind of show how the world reacts to certain environmental changes, and how different fauna or flora react to those changes as well. Dimetrodon will be present here, which is really exciting. It's always really cool to see some Paleozoic creatures. And with it, we also get like teases from like some of the 3 most major eras, that being, the Paleozoic with Dimetrodon, the Mesozoic with Spinosaurus, and the Cenozoic with Smilodon. And of course, the Dimetrodon does look amazing. It was also done by Gabriel Ugueto, and just look at it. The sail looks great, the coloration on the animal's body looks so good, and you just can't go wrong with designs like this. There was also the most recent tease would have to be this right here, this nodosaur. It is a floating nodosaur. It was filmed in Malta. Apparently, it's the largest animatronic that they have like on location, like their largest on location animatronic. which is really cool in the fact that they are using animatronics for this. That is something that helps ground some projects. Like when you get close-up shots, you can just see an animatronic, which, you know, it feels like the animal's actually there because it actually is there. They are doing a nodosaur here, which is in the middle of a like bloat and float, which is something that would happen when they're like, after the animal had died, they would fill up with gases and they would kind of like float around in the water. There's a good chance that this is Borealopelta, which is a type of nodosaur that is incredibly well preserved, which means that so well preserved that we have a very good idea of what it looked like, so well preserved that the melanosomes are still present, so we know what color it had in life, which means that if this is Borealopelta, it's going to be an incredibly accurate on-screen depiction of the animal, which is exciting. It's very cool to see it silhouetted from the sunlight right there, and that is going to be a very cool addition. Some things that were teased a while ago were also like this Tyrannosaur skull that was later confirmed to be Nanoxaurus, which is going to be very cool to see. Nanoxaurus being a dinosaur that's kind of getting a little bit more media representation in recent years, especially with projects like Prehistoric Planet. So it'll be really cool to see it here once again. And there was like this, I think, leaked image of what this little fellow right here that I'm hearing some people call Eoraptor. If it is Eoraptor, that'll be awesome to see because Eoraptor is a basal sauropodomorph, which means it's like in the group that eventually saw the rise of the later, more derived, huge sauropods that we all know and love, despite the fact that it looks like a little theropod. I hope we get some focus on that because I would love it to be highlighted. So yeah, those are some of the things that we know about Surviving Earth. Again, it will be coming out sometime next year, and I will definitely be talking about it as much as I possibly can. If you guys are like, if you watch some of my YouTube shorts, then you know I have already been covering this concept art. This is just a longer form video that highlights them because I think that this project needs to be talked about a little bit more. Because again, it's kind of fallen under the radar for a lot of people. And one of the biggest reasons is probably because, you know, it's been delayed time and time again. Like it was supposed, at one point it was supposed to come out like fall this year, but it's been delayed to next year. And we don't even have a clear date yet. But you know, I don't think it'll be too long before we start seeing more marketing for this project, and then hopefully eventually we'll get a trailer, and then we could talk about it a little bit more with some extra details. But yeah, I am just so incredibly happy that we are currently living through this era where we're just getting a lot of just dinosaur projects in general. Of course, Primitive War just came out. There was Rebirth. We had Walking with Dinosaurs, which I know that not everybody liked Walking with Dinosaurs 2025. Even I, you know, there's some things about it that I think could have been done a little bit better. But there's also Prehistoric Planet Ice Age, which I think is going to be a huge highlight. And now Surviving Earth is just a huge one that I'm just so excited for it, you know, and some of these projects, it feels like there's like being a lot of care and attention that's being placed into them. And I'm just, it's a great time to be a dinosaur fan. So with that in mind, be sure down below, be sure to let me know what projects you are most looking forward to, or which projects you already gotten the project that you have most looked forward to. And if you did, how'd you like it? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it somewhere in the middle? Be sure to let me know. But also be sure to let me know what you think of Surviving Earth. Are you excited for this project? Because I definitely am, and I can't wait until we could get some more footage or some more details about the project, because it sounds like it's going to be a very good and worthwhile documentary. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. If you liked this video and you like prehistoric related things, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you on board. And if you would like to help support me and this channel, please consider checking out my Patreon or my channel membership. The links for those are down below. Thank you so much to everybody who currently supports me on there. You guys are truly awesome. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.